It just sort of takes a little extra work because I don't have anybody in a lot of scenes with me. I was always so excited when there were other humans in the scenes with me.
I'm Russ Milheim from The Direct. Thank you for talking to me today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Now, well, yeah, congratulations on the movie, first and foremost. You have a very busy South by, so that's great.
Yeah.
My first question is just, your character is someone who, fears that they brought something back to Earth. Where did you start in building the foundation of that performance and how it, grows and evolves as the film goes on?
Well, it takes a lot of imagination. For most of the movie, I am on my own, having to just sort of use my own imagination and really what Jess, our director writer, has already given us in the script and stuff. So a lot of it was already there, but yeah, it just sort of takes a little extra work because I don't have anybody in a lot of scenes with me. I was always so excited when there were other humans in the scenes with me. Lawrence Fishburne plays my dad, and Gabe plays my husband, and so that was. I was always excited when I saw that there were other people in a scene with me because it was rare.
Yeah. Now I have to ask the question. Marvel loves their multiverse. If they were to ever come to you and be like, "Hey, can you come do this? Can you come back in that role as Invisible Woman?" Is that a conversation you would be open to having with them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine that happening because there's already a new film coming out that looks so great. But absolutely, I would totally be open to that.
Well, thank you for talking to me.
Yeah, nice to see you.
When crafting this film and your performance, what would you say is the most unique experience that it gave you compared to anything else you've done before?
Yeah, you know what? I would have to say, well, first of all, the experience of being in Dublin and in the Wicklow Mountains and just the entire culture of the Irish people. The music, there's music at every turn, in every pub, out on the street, everywhere. It's just a very musical town. Like, they're great horse people as well. It's really kind of remarkable to be able to kind of touch down with that and go out to Connemara in the west and Galway and all those places. As far as the character himself, Mark, this character, I'm starting to kind of gracefully age into the father roles, which is fantastic, and that was really one of the elements that really drew me to the story.
Yeah.
Was this idea of not only being a father, but being a father to an adopted child. Lawrence Fishburne is adopted Kate's character. And so I really love the kind of multi-tiered aspect about that.
Now, I overheard you talking about Last of Us, and it's renewed for season 3. It's happening. Do you know when you go back to work on that? When does production kick back up? When do you get to go back to that world?
Well, we just kind of really wrapped season 2 in January. I had to go back for some additional photography. So yeah, how about we let them see season 2 and then we'll go from there.
Very last question. If Marvel ever came to you to get back as Ghost Rider, is that something you would say yes to?
Oh man, of course. I love that character. And it's, one of the few Mexican-American heroes. And I was very prideful to have been, to have established that character when we did in 2015. And with all the multi-layered, multi-universes and all this other stuff, the door's wide open for most of this to come back, So a lot of the Marvel television stuff is being folded back in. So sure, man, Kevin, call me.
All right, thank you, sir. Good meeting you. First question is, when crafting this movie, were there any particular pitfalls, like when it comes to sci-fi films, that you wanted to avoid that are just done so often? You were like, I'm doing something different.
Ooh, definitely. I really tried to keep everything in sort of an organic space so that it wouldn't feel too unrealistic for the audience to go there. So I tried to take inspiration from bioluminescent sea creatures and have the alien sounds be kind of inspiration come from whale sounds, and just try to root everything, even the palette, just in sort of earthly colors so that it wouldn't be such a far leap for audiences to kind of get on board with something like that. But yeah.
What would you say was the biggest surprise challenge you faced while putting this film together?
Surprise challenge. I did have bronchitis for all of filming, so that was super fun. That was a good one. Honestly, I have to say the production was so seamless, truly. I worked on a ton of movie crews, and so it was not lost on me the fact that it truly felt like every step of the way, Everyone was doing amazing work. It always felt like everything worked out for the best, and it really was one of those productions where you feel like the movie gods are kind of on your side. So honestly, I have zero complaints about the process. It really was absolutely a dream come true.
When it comes to, you guys have done a lot. When it comes to this film, what is the most unique experience that it offered you both? And that could be on set, off set, before it all happened.
I didn't hear you. The most unique experience?
The most unique experience is it offered you as a filmmaker.
I mean, I had a very unique experience in living in an apartment with my wife, my son, and his fiance. We had to, because this is such a low-budget movie, we had to share an apartment together, and that was very unique. Yeah, very.
And two of us came down with COVID in the
we got
first
COVID,
week,
right.
so
we did.
It was,
the men in the house got COVID, and the women had to take care of us.
yeah.
But you pulled it off. You pulled it off.
They never got it. They're way stronger than us, so, you know.
What do you think about like this sci-fi film? What's the most what sets it apart from every other sci-fi film out there?
Well, let's be honest. There's not a lot that sets any sci-fi. I mean, you hope that it's the journey that you go on with the character, right? You hope that's what it is. I just think that we made a movie at a certain price point that was the right price point for the movie, and that's gratifying. I've been lucky enough to make movies that are ridiculously expensive, and we made The Purge for $2 million. And for me, it's almost more gratifying when you make a movie for less that satisfies on par with the other movies that are out there, and that's what I hope happens here.
Yeah, I mean, but I also will say, you know, the concept alone is something that's really sticky and it's really catchy, and I think we're drawn to that as a company when you get something that you can kind of pitch in one sentence and you're like, wait, what? And then there's a twist at the end of that, right? That we didn't see coming, and I think in this movie, you'll definitely get that.
Brad, last quick question.
Yes.
Can you provide any update on where Quiet Place 3 is? We're still waiting for it.
Interesting. I had a conversation. Well, okay. So day one is not A Quiet Place 3, just to be clear. A Quiet Place 3, we're starting to put it together right now. When we made the first one, John didn't have a lot on his plate. He had just come off The Office, and he wanted to be a director. Now he's so in demand that it's hard to get him. I think he's making a movie now, so as soon as he finishes that, I'm hopeful that he turns his attention. We want to finish that trilogy, but I'm hopeful there's even more Quiet Place movies beyond that.
Thank you guys both, and
Thank you.
congratulations
Thanks
and
a
good
lot.
luck.
Thank you.
What do you think was the biggest surprise challenge you faced while putting this movie together?
We wanted to make sure that the film was authentic. So getting NASA on board was an interesting challenge, and talking to the right people and getting to interview astronauts and the people who deal with the rehab facilities, which this film sort of talks about, was interesting. And at the same time, shooting this film in the fall in Ireland, which was it's freezing cold and rainy, and people get sick, and you just get sick the entire time. And Jess, the director, had bronchitis the entire movie. So yeah, there was health in that. Yes.
Last question. If an alien entity were to come to Earth, like if Earth makes first contact with an alien species, how do you think that goes down in today's life, just in reality? What's going to happen?
I think half of us are going to be very excited. I think half of us are going to run for the hills.